Congregational song.
Good morning, everybody, and special welcome to our friends from Sweet Adelines. Louise is mixing it up today, so we're going to do Congregational song first. So if you want to grab your books, it's on 209. Oh, and it's up on the wall also, but in case you want the music.
And if everybody wants to stand.
What's that?
Stand up.
Oh, Kathy says stand up. She's always bossing people around. Let there be unity in all the world today. Let it be known by God alone that show the way. Let there be truth in every heart of men, for truth will make them free. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin there be love in everything I do and say. Yes, let there be unity. Let it last through eternity, and let there be unity in me. One more time. Let there be unity in all the world today. Let it be known by God alone and show the way. Let there be truth in all the hearts of men, for truth will make them free. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be unity in all the world today. Let there be love in everything I do and say. Yes, let there be unity. Let it last through eternity, and let there be unity in me. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome. Try this again. There we go. All right, my name is Michael Panik, and I'd like to welcome those of you who are here in person with us and our live streaming audience to Unity of Missoula. As we begin our Sunday service, let's honor one another and take a few moments to greet each other with waves, nods, and other non-physical means to show our appreciation and love for each other. And now as we move into the more formal part of our service, let's remember Unity of Missoula is a team ministry founded on the 5 basic principles of unity. God is all good and active in everything everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. All right, and we have a couple of sign-up sheets that I'll pass around. One is for our potluck, which will be next Sunday, June 21st. And the other is for those who want to participate in the Pride Parade, which is coming up also Saturday next week. Yep.
And anyone that wants to go, come downstairs afterwards at hospitality, and we'll have t-shirts and stuff.
Okay. So anybody that didn't hear that, if you're interested, please come downstairs afterwards and talk to Susan. All right. So now we'll have the time in the service when we'll together the reading of the daily word. So the reading from the Daily Word, our bi-monthly meditation magazine, published by Unity World Headquarters. And the word for today is prayer. No, that's the wrong Sunday. Appreciation. I express appreciation for my many blessings. It has been said that what I appreciate appreciates. The more I give thanks for what I have, the more blessings I will discover. Practicing gratitude in all circumstances helps me realize how abundantly blessed I am. When I remember all the good that God is, more good is revealed to me. Taking a breath, I give thanks for life. Opening my eyes, I give thanks for the I give thanks for divine wisdom. With each bite of food, every sip of water, I feel grateful for my body and physical senses. There is so much to appreciate, from the small everyday things to life's most grand events. Giving thanks with my whole heart brings me joy. I practice appreciation for all that I am, all that I have, and all that I do. And from Psalm 9:1, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. All right. Now here are a few things we'd like to tell you about at Unity this week. Next Sunday's 11 a.m. service will feature Michael Panique. Our June theme is Visualizing Peace. This month's spiritual power is imagination, represented by the disciple Bartholomew and the woman with the oil, and the color is light blue. You're invited to join us for hospitality immediately following the service today. Carol Bolter and Deborah Gladback are providing today's hospitality. Be sure to thank them when you see them. And as always, any help with cleanup is greatly appreciated. Book groups. Our online book group meets Mondays at 12:30 p.m. They're reading The Awakened Way by Susan Giesman. Please contact Nancy Lyserper or Judy Crenshaw if you would like the link. The in-person Unity book group meets Tuesdays at 12:30 p.m. and they're reading the book Creating Your Life, The Channeled Wisdom of Jesus by Christine Bush. This book encourages readers to engage with their core identity and leverage their intrinsic energy and conscious intent to influence their reality. Our Course in Miracles study group meets Mondays at 2 p.m. at the home of Tom and Linda Andrus. Please see Linda if you need directions. A Course in Miracles beginners group is meeting Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. here at Unity in the sanctuary. Thursday's time of silent prayer and meditation for world peace is at 7 p.m. Please join us for a 20-minute time of silent meditation as we visualize our world in blessed peace. Our prayer chaplain on duty today is Nancy Leifer. If you have a prayer request and would like someone to pray on your behalf, please see Nancy. Okay, and now I'd like to invite Roger Harvey up. He's got a few more announcements.
Good morning. Use the mic because you think I don't have enough voice. My has been a was taken to Portland by his sister and is there, but they're in the process of getting rid of his things and his house here in Missoula. And on the 20th, they're going to have a yard sale. They've asked me to ask anybody who would, 2 or 3 people, if they could come help set up on the morning of the 20th. I'll be there. I can give you a ride there and from and things. That would be very helpful. So if you've got some time on the 20th to help them, please get a hold of me after the service. And the other thing is, we have 3 people doing our yard now, and we're looking for 2 more to help us mow the yard once a month. So if you can get a hold of me after that about the yard mowing, please contact me for that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Roger. Thank you so much to those of you who continue to support our Unity community through your tithes and love offerings. Your generous donations enable us to keep our building full of spiritual seekers and other community groups throughout the month. We appreciate you. Unity's 10% tithe on all income received each quarter is divided between and sent to help the missions of Unity Headquarters, Unity Northwest Region, and local Missoula charities as voted on annually by the board. Please hold them in your heart as we affirm our offering blessing. I will affirm it once, then repeat it with me. Ask you to repeat it with me. I open my heart to love. All that I give and all that I receive is blessed and multiplied from a joyful heart of love. And now together. I open my heart to love. All that I give and all that I receive is blessed and multiplied from a joyful heart of love. Now will our greeters please come forward to pass the offering baskets. Thank you. Before we move on to the talk for this week, I'll affirm Unity's primary affirmation and ask you to join me in affirming it 2 more times. There is only one presence and one power in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Now together. There is only one presence and one power in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And one more time. There is only one presence and one power in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Okay. In addition, we have our Missoula Unity affirmation. And I'll affirm it once and then ask you to join me in affirming it a second time. We are Unity of Missoula. We are a radiating center of divine love, open and accessible to all. We are God's light, peace, and joy wherever we are. And now together. We are Unity of Missoula. We are a radiating center of divine love, open and accessible to all. We are God's light, peace, and joy wherever we are. Unity of Missoula maintains a circle of people who have made a commitment to pray every day for others at their request. If you have names of people to hold in prayer for a month, you may place their names in the prayer box located on the altar, or call the church and leave a message with those names. The names will also be sent out to our prayer circle and to Silent Unity for 30 days of prayer. Please join me for a moment as we hold all of them in our hearts. You may also now say silently or aloud the names of those you wish to bring into this time of prayer. Dear God, we hold these friends and loved ones in our hearts. We behold their light as expressions of the indwelling Christ. We release them to your care and affirm divine order in their lives and ours. Thank you, God. Amen. So today's speaker is Louise Harvey, who's been a blessing to this community for long before I got here. She blesses us with her musical contributions and with her wisdom, and I always appreciate the unique take that she has on different things. And while she isn't our minister, she's an important member of our speaking team and somebody whose wisdom I'm very much looking forward to being given today. So I'd like to leave it over now for our special music, and then Louise. Thank you.
So I'd like to introduce my friends and singers that I've been part of for a couple of years. The Five Valleys Chorus of Sweet Adelines, which has a new name now, which I can't remember right now. Anyway, come on up, ladies. We're going to sing a song that is uplifting and fun. It's from 1980 by Queen. Some of you may be old enough to remember 1980, I hope. It's called This Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And I want you to just join into your feelings of, if you feel like swinging with us, do it.
Of the people online, they can't hear anything.
Relax, get hip, get on my track and take a back seat, hitchhike, take a long ride on a motorbike till I'm ready, crazy little thing called love. Ba-ba-doo-da, ba-doo-da, ba-ya-ba-da.
Okay, I claim it. I'm a rebel. We actually have 25 of us in the group, but with all the things going on, this was the group that could be here this morning. And I just want to thank those who've been in the group for 55 years, who were with us, and they know what they're singing. So thank you, ladies. Now, this song came into my head when I was given the assignment to speak today, and when I was given the topic, which is realigning with peace. And I couldn't get it out of my head, and so I said, okay, well, we're going to see if we can get this together, but I really needed to do some digging to see why this wouldn't go away. And for one thing, one of the things that happens every time we sing it as a group is that we start bouncing. Our vibrational frequencies are lifted. And every time I've seen it or heard it done in public, it's the same thing that happens. And who doesn't need their vibrational frequency lifted right now in this time? I think everybody does. So anyway, I went online looking for some history of the song. Well, it was written in the 1970s and performed by a group named Queen, which when I looked online was this really sexy guy doing this stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, what have I done? But, there is no kind of love that doesn't come from the source of our existence. We can't separate out and say, well, that's bad love and that's not good love. So I was okay with that. But I looked through there, and then I started thinking about, apparently, it was the top 4 in the UK and then in the United States for 4 weeks by this group, and then also by Elton John, and then many other people started singing it. And it was in 1980. So I don't know how many of you were still already here in 1980, but I was. And what happened prior to that, and I'm just going to give you a little background on this, which is why this started making sense to me that this song needed to be sung this morning with this talk. Where were you during Vietnam? I was married in 1967 and had my first child in 1968, the second one in 1970, and the third one in 75. Meanwhile, right after we were married, my husband got shipped off in the Navy off to Vietnam area. And he never talked about what he was doing over there. And of course, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have no money, so mostly, was by the time I wrote a letter and he wrote a letter, it would be a month before you get an answer to the question. So all that started coming up in my mind when I'm thinking about this song, and I'm thinking, well, what does that have to do? Well, of course, it had a lot to do. What he did, which I never found until just a couple years ago, what the ship was doing, he was an engineman on the ship, but they were taking the Marines in, and then they would come back later and pick up the living ones and the ones who were not so living. Well, of course, these guys had become friends. And so you think there was some grief involved that never got recognized. I think that's what PTSD is unrecognized grief. And so when he came home, neither of us ever even heard the term PTSD. And I can tell you from the one who was home with the baby that there was grief on my end of it too. And so then I started looking at what else was going on. Well, let's see. 1973, the Paris Peace Accords were signed in January by President Nixon, and the war officially ended in April of 1975. By the time this song came out, I know I was so ready for love and freedom and silliness and something to lift us out of that dark time. However, with unresolved grief, by the time 1983, for instance, rolled around, I knew that my struggle for peacefulness was not happening, and I knew that our relationship was in trouble. So I've always been kind of liking to be the peacemaker in the family. And so we were in Havre, and I saw a workshop at Northern Montana College that said, total self-management. I thought, well, there's a good idea. I could just get myself all managed up, and then everything would be okay. So I signed up and I went. And interestingly, it was a hot Havre day. And so those of us who attended were looking for something really cool to wear, but this guy that was facilitating the class, he comes in and he's got on his dress, shiny black patent shoes, he's got on his black pants, and he's got on his black suit jacket, and he's got on his white shirt, buttoned up to the neck, and he's got his tie on, and he's just being cool. And so we started in with the workshop, and basically, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this because you might want to do this sometime just because it is a helpful stuff. He wanted us to take out a notebook and with a pen, not a computer, not any of that stuff, let the energy come through our fingers and write down everything that was important to us. Well, my mind went crazy, so I'm writing and all kinds of just, everything. And he said, everything that's valuable to you, everything that's important, and not to your partner, not to your mama, not to your daddy, not to your best friend, not to your kids, not to who's ever running the country, to you. Well, that made me look way down inside like I had never looked before, and because I was kind of a people pleaser. And so I was just having fun writing all these words down. I couldn't wait to get back for the next day to say, okay, now what do we do? Well, it was still hot. And so the next process was make some categories. Make 5 categories that you're going to put all these words into. 5 categories that were topics over the top of all these words. Well, that resulted in some having to think and dig and how did this belong and where did this belong and what did that do? And so I set about that task, and I realized that I needed 6. And it also told me, okay, that I really wasn't always a rule follower. But I had my 5 sort of 6 categories, and I'm trying to put these words into those categories, and of course then I had to argue with myself which one went where, and so there was a real heart, soul, inner mind digging process that happened. And of course he was saying little things along the way, and he still got on all these hot clothes. And finally I couldn't stand it, and I said to him, "Aren't you hot?" "Well, no." He said, "Why, are you?" I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Why aren't you hot?" "Well," he said, I just get up, sat down in here before everybody got here, and I just sat on my chair, and I said to myself, you have your feet in ice water. You have a nice, gentle rain falling on you. You're going to breathe deeply, and I am going to be cool. It was the first time I'd ever really heard about the mind control over how we create a reality, which is one of the 3rd principle up there. So I think we all do that a little bit without being conscious of doing it. Find the parking angel, find your parking place, whatever. But to be conscious of it, to be so conscious of it and to practice it, it's like any other muscle. You practice it until it is actually happening for you. And he had it down to a science. So I was fascinated by that, but didn't think too much about it. Went on with my little process of trying to get my categories right and get them all together and whatever. So the next assignment was to put these categories in order of importance. how can I do that? They're all important. What does he mean, put them in order? So I resisted for a while, and I thought, okay, how am I going to do this? And finally, I looked at it, and I thought I felt pretty good about all the words going into the categories. And I thought, well, if I only had 6 months to live, which one of this would be the most important? Which one am I never letting go of? And which one is like, okay, well, that one, I'll wait. So I got the first and the last, and then I had those middle ones. And then I'm arguing with myself and struggling with myself and thinking about, well, you know, this and that and the other. And pretty soon I ended up in total conflict. Because I realized that for me, at that particular time in my life, number 2 and number 3 were in total conflict with each other. 2 things that I believed in, 2 things that I strongly valued were in total conflict with each other. I cried. I prayed. I waited. I went to counseling. And it was a real soul-searching experience for me to say, okay, I can see the consequences of this, and at the same time, I finally had to be true to myself. I had to love me as much as I loved everybody else. And so, I did that. And so what he said at the end, when we finally had gone through all this whole process, he's pretty kind of flippant about it. Well, when you have your values and what's important to you in order, and you live your life in accordance with those values, like you spend your time, your energy, and your money in accordance with those, you will be a peaceful person. Huh. Magic, huh? What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. I've thought about this a lot. I've thought about what can possibly go wrong when I'm doing that and you're doing that. What if we were all doing that? What if we all had ourselves so peaceful in that alignment? Then what could possibly go wrong? Well, this is just an opinion. This is an observation, but an opinion, that it's our duality thinking, it's our duality consciousness, that we have been programmed for eons of time. Good, bad, right, wrong, and on and on and on. We've been taught, don't be judgmental, but right and wrong's judgmental. I see some nods, I see some smiles. It's like, well, of course. Yeah, but there is right and wrong, or is there? Or is it because I thinking makes it so? So then I tried to imagine, how could we get past that? Because we know that that's what is, what has been taught. We know there's a piece of it that's true, and then there's a piece of it that says, yeah, but look what chaos that causes in the world right now, even. And so I imagined up this, because my imagination's pretty good, that I have all my things, I have all my little list in order, whichever way you want it, or make it in a circle. And then I meet you, and you, and you. And I say, hi, I'd like to know who you are. And then you do this. And then you make yourself vulnerable and you have your list. And I have my list. And I look you in the eye and I say, well, here's my heart and soul and here's my list. And I bear it. I give you everything. And then you decide to trust me and you give me your list. And you tell me everything that's important to you. and they're not the same as mine. That's what's happened in the world, because they didn't get past that step that said, can I love you because you are uniquely different than me and you have a whole different set of gifts than I do? And if we could look at this in a way, instead of competition, as cooperation. How do I take your gifts and my gifts and everybody's gifts and put them on the plate and say, how are we going to work out this peace in the world with all of the beautiful 8 billion gifts that are out here for us to do this? And we haven't gotten there yet, but this is my dream. This is my visualization. I haven't got any further than that, but doesn't that sound wonderful? I think of our duality consciousness as kind of dual, that word. I see the sword fighters of old, and that's kind of what we do sometimes when we're trying to work things out, and sometimes we can get past it, and sometimes we're in a situation where there is no resonance, that one person is clear over there on that edge and the other person's clear over here. And so sometimes it's best to just go find a different corner to sit in, because that's safer, until we get to the Christ consciousness that we need to get us where we are totally inclusive. And so, Unity has a silent peace meditation each Thursday night, was mentioned, and I just want to read these words to sort of add to all this. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many times, many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God, for there is only one power and presence of God, and you can call it by a different name. I like to say the source of my existence. That takes some of the old implications off for some old guy with white hair in the sky. And that God loves each one of us equally. The Creator, they love us equally. It is therefore the position of the Unity movement to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever the name for guidance during these challenging times and pursue. For this is what honors the God of all of our faith traditions. Unity stands for peace in our lifetime. Now, I didn't know if I could say this one, so I practiced it and I cried every time. When I go into my heart, I feel right now a deep, deep sadness that is reverberating from the sadness that I felt in 1968, 69, 70, those years, when so much was unresolved. That not only are the people who are being assigned these tasks in the world, but also the loved ones, the wives, the children, the sisters, the brothers, the friends, that this is happening again. And that all these people will have to do PTSD or other stuff again. And my soul says, stop it. Get your head and your heart together and go to these principles that says, create your reality that you want. Do what you know to do best. Go make a difference in the world, whatever it is. If it's sitting in your chair meditating and saying prayers for peace, do it, whatever it is. I don't know what your assignment is. But if we all do our assignment, we will make a difference in the world. Now that's my comfort right now. So, on a lighter note, the wisdom of the Costco connection that I found the other day was, don't forget to hum. No, we're hummers. But I'm also kind of interested in what my body does and how it responds to things. And humming helps your vagus nerve de-stress your body. So when was the last time you hummed in the shower? Well, that's a good one. Or in the car while you're driving by yourself. That's another good one. Or you're on a walk by yourself and nobody's around, except the little foxes that are down on the trail that I walk down to the river every day. There's like 12 of them. The other day, see, these things make me happy. They've dug holes in the side of the berm underneath the railroad track, and the other day, there was this little fox sitting there in that little hole, like he's waiting for us to take a picture of him. And it made me smile, and it made me hum. Okay, here we go. We can do this. The little fox can help us do this. Nature can help us do this. And so, humming's good. Humming's good, singing's good. So let's sing again. Let's sing again. That's the name of our song.
Nothing wrong in this old world, some little song won't cure. Whether you're rich or poor, of this little fact I'm sure. It's a pretty good old world if you'll treat it right. The earth and sky, they harmonize. Let's sing again, there's music in your heart. But you must do your part, let's sing again. 'Cause I'm happy, oh so happy when somebody sings with me a simple melody. Let's sing again. Without a song to sing, what is there to cling to? Life wouldn't mean a thing without someone to sing to. Though now and then the world may seem so blue, a song will see you through. Let's sing again, let's sing again. Come on, let's sing. Without a song to sing, what is there to cling to? I said let's sing. Life wouldn't mean a thing without someone to sing to. Let's sing again, and there's music in your heart. So if you can sing your part, find some good old song from way back when, and then let's sing again. Let's sing again, let's sing again.
I hope that makes you feel a little better. Singing makes me feel a little better. Okay, I'm leaving a pile of handouts on the 144 qualities of love in the back. So as you leave, if you're interested in picking up a bunch of words that are about love, because sometimes we have a real limited vocabulary around what love really is. So feel free to pick one up, and if we run out, I can get somebody more later. And remember that the most powerful words, this is said, the Christ said, I am that I am. The words I am are powerful, very powerful words. Might be the most powerful things we say depending on what we stick at the end of it. I am really miserable. I am really looking forward with anticipation, with, fill in the blanks. I am love. And go through the list and pat yourself on the back for being love and being those qualities that you resonate with. There'll be probably 12 on there. They go, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I love me. So let's do our prayer protection, if I can find it here. I'm counting the song as our message. Have the prayer protection, there we go. Okay, so shall we stand for this? Protection, prayer protection is good. Good thing to say every day. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God touches us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are one. Okay, and now it's time to get in a big circle and hold hands and sing the peace song. So as we go forward this week, look for the foxes. Look for the flowers. My goodness, they're absolutely over the top this year. We live in a blessed place. Watch out for your friends. Think peaceful thoughts. And remember, have fun.